Ask yourself one simple question. If Keir Starmer genuinely did nothing wrong, if he genuinely did not mislead Parliament, if he genuinely has nothing to hide about the Mandelson scandal, why is he today using the full force of the Labour Party machine to block an independent investigation into himself? As we speak, right now, the House of Commons is debating whether to refer the Prime Minister to the Privileges Committee, the same committee that ended Boris Johnson's career. And Starmer has issued what is called a three-line whip, the most extreme form of party discipline available, ordering his MPs to vote against the inquiry. Vote against it, or face suspension from the Labour Party. That is not the behaviour of an innocent man. That is the behaviour of someone who is terrified of what an investigation might find. Today, we are going to break down exactly what is happening, what a three-line whip means, why it is so damaging, and what happens next if Starmer survives or doesn't. Before we get into the details, you need to understand what a three-line whip actually means, because it is one of the most extreme tools a Prime Minister has, and using it in this situation tells you everything about how desperate Starmer is. In Parliament, the party whips are the people responsible for making sure MPs vote the way the leadership wants. They send instructions, called whip notices, that come in 3 levels. A one-line whip means, we'd prefer you vote with us, but it's not critical. A 2-line whip means, this matters, please be there. A 3-line whip means, this is mandatory. You must vote with us. If you don't, you face suspension or expulsion from the parliamentary party. 3-line whips are reserved for the most critical votes. Budget votes. No confidence motions. Votes that could bring down a government. Starmer has issued a 3-line whip today, not to pass a law, not to protect national security, not to fund the NHS. He has issued the most extreme form of parliamentary discipline available to block an independent investigation into his own conduct. And the Liberal Democrats have called this out directly. Their leader Sir Ed Davey said Labour MPs must be given a free vote, not forced into being, his exact words, accomplices to a cover-up. Accomplices to a cover-up. From another party leader. About a sitting Prime Minister. Now, let's make sure you understand what this inquiry would actually investigate. Because this is not just political point scoring. There is a very serious question at the heart of it. In February of this year, Keir Starmer stood up in Parliament and told MPs that full due process had been followed when Peter Mandelson was vetted for his role as US Ambassador. Full due process. He said those words. His team repeated those words. We now know, because the documents confirm it, that the UK Security Vetting Agency flagged Mandelson with 2 red boxes. High concern. Clearance denied. The independent body recommended he should not be given the role. He was given the role anyway. So the question is simple. When Starmer said full due process was followed, did he know that was not true? Or did he genuinely not know? If he knew, that is knowingly misleading Parliament. Under the Ministerial Code, that is a resignation offence. If he didn't know, then the Prime Minister of Great Britain had no idea that his own security vetting agency had red-flagged his most senior diplomatic appointment, which raises equally serious questions about his competence. Either way, an independent investigation would find out the truth. And that is exactly what Starmer does not want. Kemi Badenoch put it directly today, the Prime Minister misled the House of Commons repeatedly. He pretended that full due process was followed. It was not. He has blamed the appointment on officials when the blame can only be placed at his own door. And crucially, the Privileges Committee is not a kangaroo court. It is an independent body made up of MPs from all 3 major parties. It found against Boris Johnson, a Conservative. It would give Starmer a fair hearing. So why is he so desperate to stop it? Here is the comparison that is making Westminster very uncomfortable today. In 2022, Boris Johnson faced the Privileges Committee over Partygate. He was accused of misleading Parliament about rule-breaking gatherings in Downing Street during COVID lockdowns. Johnson did not try to block the inquiry. His party did not issue a 3-line whip to shut it down. The committee Saturday. It investigated, and it found that Johnson had knowingly misled Parliament. Johnson resigned from Parliament rather than face the committee's final verdict. Now, Starmer spent years hammering Boris Johnson over Partygate. He called it a betrayal of public trust. He called for Johnson to resign. He said that no Prime Minister should be above scrutiny. He said the rules applied to everyone equally. And today, faced with his own investigation, he is doing something Johnson never did. He is using a three-line whip to block the inquiry before it can even start. Sir Michael Ellis, the former Attorney General, said it directly this morning: "What a complete cover-up. It's a disgrace." And one of the most damaging lines of the day came from an unexpected direction. A source close to the government told journalists, "If he's so innocent, why would he fear an inquiry so much?" Think about that. People inside his own orbit asking that question out loud. Here is where it gets really interesting, because this vote is not as straightforward as it looks. Yes, Labour has a huge majority in Parliament. On paper, Starmer can easily vote this down. The numbers are on his side. But the three-line whip tells you that he is not confident. You don't issue the most extreme form of party discipline unless you are worried that your own MPs might rebel. And there is good reason to be worried. Because Labour MPs are furious. Not just at the Mandelson scandal, but at being put in this position. Being told to vote against an independent inquiry. Being told that if they follow their conscience, they face suspension. Gordon Brown, the former Prime Minister, had to be wheeled out last night to publicly urge Labour MPs to back Starmer. When you need Gordon Brown to save you, things are very bad indeed. The Lib Dems are demanding a free vote, no whipping, MPs vote with their conscience. If Starmer had agreed to that, the inquiry might have passed. Instead, he chose coercion. And every Labour MP who votes against this inquiry today will have to answer for it. In their constituency. In the local elections in 9 days. On the doorstep, when a voter looks them in the eye and asks, "Why did you vote to block an investigation into your own Prime Minister?" That is the question that will haunt them on May the 7th. Let's talk about what happens next, because there are two very different scenarios, and both of them are bad for Starmer. Scenario 1, Labour MPs hold the line. The three-line whip works. The vote goes down. The inquiry does not happen. Does that mean Starmer is safe? Absolutely not. Because the story does not go away. The questions about what he knew and when he knew it remain unanswered. The Lib Dems, the Conservatives, and Reform will spend the next 9 days, right up to the local elections, telling every voter in Britain that Starmer blocked an investigation into himself. The damage is already done. The image is already set. A Prime Minister who was so afraid of scrutiny that he ordered his own MPs to protect him. Scenario 2, enough Labour MPs rebel. The three-line whip fails. The inquiry passes. In that case, Starmer's authority is shattered. A Prime Minister who cannot control his own parliamentary party is a Prime Minister who is finished. The leadership race begins within days. There is no good outcome for Starmer today. There is only a less bad one. And in 9 days, the voters of Britain get their say. Here is my honest view. Whether Starmer survives this vote or not, something has already been lost that cannot be recovered. The image of a Prime Minister issuing a three-line whip to block an inquiry into his own conduct is not something voters forget. It is not something that gets buried by a good news story or a strong PMQ's performance. It sits there, in the background. Every time someone asks, "Can I trust this man?" Innocent people welcome investigations. They invite scrutiny. They say, "Look at everything, I have nothing to hide." Keir Starmer today said the opposite. And every person watching this, regardless of their politics, should ask themselves why. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think Starmer is blocking this inquiry because he is guilty, or because it is genuinely just a political stunt? Drop your answer in the comments below. I'll be watching the vote tonight, and if anything major happens, I'll be back with an update. Subscribe so you don't miss it. I'll see you tonight.